way to comfortably get in frame. Hey, we are here to answer your burning questions. The last time we did this was last Vlogmas. I can't remember if we did the Vlogmas before, but I definitely remember doing a Q&A when I was pregnant. So we've done these. We're gonna do it again. Anything else to contribute?
Supporting the UPenn women's ice hockey team.
Anything else or just that?
That's it. Yeah, I saw there was a bunch, because a lot of times I will respond to the questions on YouTube as I watch the videos back. I try and do it a little later to respond to y'all's comments. And yeah, there was a bunch and I had to refrain from answering, so I'm excited.
Get down and dirty.
It's
the first one.
my eye.
The first question is, you don't have to answer this, but are you happier not working your last job? Do you want more kids? So let's start with the first one, my last job.
That's a tough question, huh? Banger.
Not for me. Anyway.
That.
Yes, I'm very happy to not be at the last job. I was very unhappy at my last job. Going forward, I do not plan to go back into the work I had previously been doing before having a child. And do we want more kids? You want to take that one away?
No, I think you could take this one too.
Are you going to answer anything? No,
we
are retired from the baby making department.
For now.
It was forever. I will say that was not a decision that we came to easily. It took a long time for us to get to this place and to be okay with where we are, but this is the place where we know it's the right decision for our family, and we are very happy to be the parents of one very rambunctious toddler.
I was
Anything else?
Use that R word as well. Rambunctious.
Next question is for Scott. Hey.
So I guess I'll answer this one.
Great. It's two-parter. How long have you been running? Suggestions for people that want to get into running. This is like, you just like asked him the best question you could have ever asked him.
This is the question. I literally...
You love the questions about your hobbies.
Question.
So start with, how long have you been running?
How long have I been running? That's a great question. Technically, I started running 7th grade, which was, I'm 34 now. I was in 7th grade in 2000, must have been 2000, because it was a spring. So I wonder if it was 2002.
Yes, you're younger than me. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was 2002, so spring 2002. I ran 7th and 8th grade track, and I remember I did some relays, and I did the 800, and I did 100 meter dash too. I remember trying to do some like hurdle stuff, but I don't think I ever competed in that. Then 9th grade, it was like, it's high school, so I stopped, and I didn't really pick up running because it was just like, I don't know, it was too serious for me, and I don't know, I was just like, for some reason I went to the first couple practices, I remember, with a friend, and I was like, this just isn't for me, and I did some weightlifting. I didn't get back into running until I was doing triathlons, and I had no idea what I'm doing. Still don't really, but I would just like kind of go out and just run miles. And that was 2009 maybe. So let's say it was 2002, 2003 was 8th grade then. So then I probably started back up with triathlons. Or I started with triathlons like 2009. Wow, that's like 6 years later.
And you were what, like 19, 20?
Yeah, and then I would just kind of run. Just like, I'd be like, okay, today I have to do an 8 mile, so I'm just gonna do an 8 mile. In 2009, it still wasn't to the point where you kind of just like, this will lead into the other questions. It wasn't a point where the internet wasn't necessarily a point where you could just kind of look things up and say like, how do I run?
But not only that, like things weren't even monetized at that point. So like, if people were making content, they weren't making content like as a career.
About, like, YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, like, I guess also like different
there was no
blogs,
AdSense and stuff. Like even that, like there really wasn't money in like the internet until like a few years after that. Like I don't even really remember when like fitness became like a world where people could make money
by
online.
2014, definitely. I would think
not 2009.
2012 maybe. So I had no idea what I was doing. I just know one of my coaches had done a triathlon, and I was like, if she could do it, I could.
Super rude, but
And,
okay.
well, I mean that's kind of, but it's still she's super fast swimmer. She D1 swimmer. She's really fast. But I was like, oh yeah, like she could do it, then I could do it. And me and a friend, we did a triathlon, and then I ended up doing a couple. I challenged my coach, my college coach.
You were a
different.
swimmer.
So this is a different coach
Swimming
than the
coach.
one that I had gotten initially inspired by. This is a different coach. So I had challenged him to do long. So we did an Olympic triathlon. I say long, but it's an Olympic triathlon, and I beat him. And then we did another one. So that was in September. We did another one in May. And this is a very long-winded way of saying I got injured from training, and I ran way too much. So I went to college in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Taylor Swift's from Reading.
The way that
You know her?
no, I don't know. The way that the city is, it's on this hill.
It's like a freaking mountain.
It's like a mountain, yeah. I thought that it was the best idea because someone said, I think it was my coach had said that the course was hilly course. So I was like, oh, I should run hills. And I was like, every morning, so I ran
that
up.
kind of logically makes sense.
Exactly. But so it wasn't every morning. It was 3 days a week. I was like, this was spring, so it was off season. I ran up 3 streets. So I did the hill 3 times. So I went all the way up, and then all the way back down, then all the way up, all the way back down, all the way up, all the way back down. And I thought this was like, oh my God, this is the smartest thing. This is what I had no idea about overtraining and overworking and resting and all that stuff.
But how would you unless somebody told you?
Yeah, I'm sure if my coach was watching this video, he'd be like, I told you.
No.
But it's sometimes you have to learn. You have to learn things yourself. But anyway, so on top of that, I was also really obsessed with ultimate frisbee. They had an ultimate frisbee club at college, and they played every day it was 4 to 5. I remember because I think dinner opened at 5. So I would play from 4 to 5, and when I would play, like, think about it, like, you're ever in gym class, and you know there's people that are like going hardcore and they're sweating, and you're like, what the heck are you doing? You're going. So this is like gym class, but it was like, imagine you get to play the sport that you wanted every single time, and like I would just be exhausted, like running fully. And we're getting into like my injury, but
Yeah,
I got a stress fracture. I remember standing in the cafeteria because I said that the dinner would open right at 5. So we would, rush over there after. And I remember standing in line, and I would rock and sway from side to side, and I could feel the bone in my leg just like... you've never had a cavity, right? I think I tried to explain this to you before.
I have had a cavity, but I've never felt a cavity.
When you have a cavity, so like in your mouth, you have a cavity and you kind of like bite down, you could feel like the pain like intensifying and then like decreasing. It's like, I don't know how else to explain it except saying like literally a bone. I feel like it's like a cavity. You have a cavity and it's this like dull pain that just like intensifies as you apply pressure and the pain dissipates as you release pressure. What was the question?
Anyway, so you got a stress fracture and it didn't heal. Let me take it away for like a hot second. It didn't heal properly. And you went for, I feel like it was a couple years. You were seeing different doctors and having different like scans and stuff done, trying to figure out why it wasn't healing. To the point where, like, I remember you with your crutches. We weren't dating. Then we started dating.
I was on crutches.
Then you
for
started getting me doing
college.
like races. And then you were like, I miss doing triathlons. And like, I don't remember how, but I know why. Because the one year you had done the aqua bike. And I had seen that they had co-ed relay triathlons. So I feel like I must have been the one that brought it up. That was like, well, if you do the sprint triathlon, I could definitely do a 5K. Thinking like,
so she did a couple of 5Ks.
I did 2 5Ks for sprint triathlons we did together, and we won 1 year. Yeah, we did. That's pretty baby Rachel. Anyway, so you were really injured for a really long time, and it wasn't even until... I was
swimming and biking for that time.
It wasn't even until like a couple years ago that you kind of more confidently started running again, and now take it away from post running. Post injury, how you got back into running in a way that you are not getting injured.
Well, I'll try and answer it short.
Are you?
I'm saying that I'm gonna try and make it short.
Okay.
That I discovered through meeting with different physical therapists, I came up with different exercises that I was able to do that helped me alleviate my pain, and I got that to a point at which after every, remember I trained for a half marathon in 2020, and I said I'm gonna do whatever it takes to try and get this done, and I followed a program. It was like on Audible. It was really good, but it was more so just to build up to that, and that's kind of what this whole thing is. Like, if you're really gonna get into running, start slow and increase very, very slowly. So I would do these like PT sessions by myself for like, what was it, like a half hour, 45 minutes. And so like we would watch TV and I would be on the floor stretching the whole time. Plus I would do a lot of strengthening.
I was pregnant and I would...
Oh, you were pregnant.
And I would be... If I recall what you're talking about, you would be on the floor in our bedroom, right? Doing it?
Sure. Yeah.
We would be watching the office, and I would be doing... I had like it was a video for like people that were on bed rest, how to just like stretch as a pregnant person stuck in bed, and I would do that on the bed while you were stretching on the floor.
So not only that, but I would take the gua sha stones, and I would do what's it called?
I thought gua sha was the...
I guess just like gua sha, but like it's called scraping. So I'd be scraping my bones.
Some people watching might be more familiar with gua sha for like your face, but he was doing it more so on my legs.
And so more recently, I've found different exercises that help with my strengthening my different muscles, like tibias and hamstrings and quads and different things like that. What was the question?
Well, you kind of went.
How do you get into it?
Well, that was how long have you been running? I assume that was the answer to that. Suggestions for people that want to get into running, like.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to say that, like, kind of go slow.
But do you have like a source even to recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I was using called Hal Higdon. I can post it.
Yeah, send me the link and I will
post below. It gets you. That's a very, very introductory. He has a bunch of different levels of programs, but like if you wanna run like a 5K, or if you just want to start running outside, I would honestly say like, yeah, sure. Obviously, look up one of those programs. Look up a Couch to 5K if you've never heard of that. Look that up. Another thing that really worked really well for me was just go outside and just run for 10 minutes. Not even run. You could do like a walk run. So you could do like 1 minute walk, 1 minute run.
That's how I survived doing the 5Ks. I switched between the two.
And as you do that, so just put it on your in your calendar and say like, I'm going to do this 10 times this month, or 10 days in a row. Even you could do that. You can as you go, you're going to be like, I can do this for 2-3 minutes. You kind of slowly increase that. Like, okay, I'm going to do 2 minutes of running, 1 minute walking, 3 minutes of running, 1 minute walking. You kind of slowly increase that. And then you can start looking at these different plans and, looking into what do I have to do to run a 5K and look up interval training and look up thresholds and long runs and zone 2, and you can go crazy. Did that answer the question?
Fantastic. Do you want to go grab your tea? I heard it pop.
Back with my tea. Tea's hot though. There's I think it's called the Institute of, I gotta send you the YouTube channel that you sent me. It's called like the Institute of an Institute of Anatomy. Institute of Anatomy. That's what it's called.
Sent you that about
you sent me that about something. Yeah, C-sections. So I saw a video that they had where they're talking about.
You don't need to send it.
What?
We're all good.
No, it's not the diaphragm. It's the there's a piece like here in everyone's body that it's this flap that, what's it called? It goes up or down based on if you're drinking or breathing, and if you like,
that's why
what I just did
is dangerous for babies.
Okay.
For kids.
That's what I just did.
Kernels are sharp.
They like hit it or get stuck in it or whatever.
No, the kernels will get stuck and then slice them.
But I was breathing when I was trying to drink, and so it like went through. You know, it's like.
Nobody was expecting an anatomy lesson.
Yeah. That answered all the questions.
That was one. That answered your one question.
One.
Next one is, does Rachel think she would go back to work anytime soon?
Oh, this is the question. Scandalous question, right?
I don't know if it's scandalous.
No, I don't know.
Anytime soon, I don't have an actual answer because so much is up in the air right now, which is like life things. So I think the overall plan and goal would be that once Phoebe is in some sort of educational institution, that yes, I would be able to be a, you okay over there, buddy?
He is not.
That I would be able to be more of an income provider as well to the family. As far as going back, like I said earlier, I would not be going back into the line of work I used to be in. I have ideas of directions I'd like to take with my career, but I would never be going back, at least for now time frames, to anything full-time, because I still want to be able to have the flexibility to be able to supporting Phoebe in anything she might need, but also, yeah, mainly that. I wouldn't be doing like a 40-hour-a-week desk job, is what I'm saying. And we'll leave it at that, right?
What was the question?
Am I going back to work anytime soon?
Yeah, you answered it.
Mario is just all about the tail right now. All right, what are your favorite things about each other and your favorite things about Phoebe? So do you want to do each other first? You want to start or should I start?
Let's go.
There's so much cat happening right now.
He is inside of Mario's butt.
Okay. Do you want to say your favorite thing about me or my favorite thing about you first?
My favorite thing about you is that I can definitely trust you and depend on you. My
favorite thing about you is I admire your determination and the way, like, when you want to do something, you first of all are like, you have a lot of self-confidence. Like, I'm not a very self-confident person. I always look at you as like a very self-confident person, and like, you're like, oh, I want to do a triathlon again or a half marathon. Like, I can figure this out. I can do the research. I want to start getting into bread. You do the research, you figure it out, you try a bunch of, like, that's a very self-confident characteristic you have about yourself that I admire. All right, favorite thing about Phoebe. You want to go first or me?
Well, I went first last time, so you go first.
Okay, honestly, like, obviously I just love her because she's my child, but at this stage in life right now, my absolute favorite thing about having a nearly 3-year-old is that she loves to sing. And I could listen to her. I could listen to her sing songs all day. I just love listening to her sing. It brings me a lot of joy.
My favorite thing, I hate, what do you call it? What are these called? If you ever listen to our podcast, you would know that I hate
You don't need, it's nobody's gonna like come and like get ya if you pick something that's not.
If I had to choose one, I would say that she is very much so our daughter. She is, what do you call it? Emboldened to be herself. Mm-hmm. And I think we both agree that that's going to take her places. It's going to be good in the long run.
She is an independent woman. Will you consider doing a video of the Hanukkah, Christmas, birthday gifts you got Phoebe? I need ideas. I mean, I'm not making a separate video, but for her age,
is it kind of late now?
I mean, I guess, but I can still like give like general ideas. For all 3 holidays, puzzles. She's really started to master like the very basic like toddler puzzles that have knobs. You just put them in the places, so more advanced puzzles. We got her a few of her first board games since she's kind of at that, almost at 3, and a lot of like beginner board games, say 3+. We got her a pickler triangle. That's kind of her big gift.
It's a big gift.
Just to help keep her active and have her working on just like general like strength and confidence. I feel like climbing and stuff like that, a lot of that is a lot of also self-confidence. She's into Barbies. She's getting some Barbie stuff, princess stuff. She's getting some makeup. Girl likes makeup. I think if there's anything like really big that I missed, it's a lot of that kind of stuff. Do you feel like I missed anything big?
I mean, Barbie stuff.
Yeah, because like Barbies and princesses, like that's kind of where her like.
I was gonna say that's a specific interest.
Yeah, that's like her interest.
So like because it was one of your subscribers, right? That's so it was a So like,
yeah,
they're
it's
talking
more
about their kid. That,
yeah, so I'm saying like puzzles, games, like climbing stuff, but then like also more like focused things that she likes. What bothers the other person about the other one? Love you guys. Do you want to start or should I go? I'll just say one.
Okay, go for it.
You're a procrastinator.
Oh God.
You know how crazy procrastinating makes me. Obviously, lots of people procrastinate. I procrastinate tons of things, but like you procrastinate a lot. That's like your thing.
Ouch.
That's not the worst thing I could have said.
Ouch.
It's not like I said anything that rude. Go ahead, you can.
I
hit
thought
me.
you were gonna say how I take too long to do things. Which I kind of guess is
You
very
take
similar.
too long because you're procrastinating.
Yeah. What's one thing
Tread lightly.
I hate? Is that I hate about you?
That is not what it said. Bothers you.
I'm thinking of 10 things I hate about you. Oh God, where do I start? Let's see. This is like
thing. One gentle thing.
Here, give me a second to think about it.
He has to eliminate all these terrible things, apparently. You're superlativing him
I
again.
don't, there's nothing that I don't love about you.
That is BS, and nobody's gonna take that. Everyone wants you to spill the tea on me.
I'm trying. I guess you're, can I say that it's your unwillingness to try new things?
Sure. That's a self-confidence issue. And then I have 2 questions that are from your sister. These are the last 2. Right.
These are the last 2? Or
These are the last 2, and they're both from
they're
your
both
sister.
from my sister.
What
One
is-
sister or both sisters?
Just the one. What is the craziest story you have since becoming a mom and dad?
That's a good question.
It really is.
The craziest? I think, have we done anything like in public? I mean, besides the being on the boat.
That wasn't even like crazy. What's the craziest story? She said craziest story.
If you threw up on the stairs,
I want to say like, I don't even, like the one time where she got so mad and she was in the middle of a tantrum where she put her hands on the 2 racks. So she's like a coat rack in her bedroom. And in her anger of having a tantrum, she like lifted her body up like she was doing a pull-up, like it was like a feat of strength. She gets that from your side of the family.
That's the craziest
I
story.
don't know. I don't really have have crazy stories. Mainly survival stories.
Yeah, I mean, besides the one time where she threw up, she had the cookie, and she threw up.
Yeah,
That was pretty
like
scary.
A kid having an allergic reaction.
Yeah, it was just an allergic reaction. I mean, but like, is that the craziest story? Like, I feel like these are like, you know, scary stories too. But
It's
I feel
not
like she
like
wants
we've
to
ever. She's
say
never.
a time where she's like.
I don't want to say
pooped
she's
in public or something.
Yeah, she wasn't a kid who had like a lot of blowouts. She wasn't like. She hasn't like.
She's not even 3 years old yet.
I know, but like, we've never taken her out and her like had some crazy like.
Not much.
Yeah, like she's fairly well behaved when we take her out, in general.
We try to avoid situations like we try and read her and avoid situations at which she would be in a bad mood and it would be a bad
and a lot of the time like her general mood is based on the sleep she has the night before, so
we
it's
make
kind
a
of easy
judgment
for us
call
to gauge because
based on that.
a lot of the times she likes going out unless like places are super crowded.
But also a lot of times there's been a countless number of times where I've got her shoes and jacket on and we're headed out and she's like, no, I'm not getting in the car, I'm not getting in the car.
Again, that just feels like toddler to
it's
me.
a
That's
toddler,
not very
right?
crazy.
But I'm just saying, like, within that, like, that same, you know, vein that, like, we didn't even get to go to have this crazy story, you know?
I mean, I think one of the first moments for me as a parent that I felt like completely like out of control, she had to be a couple months old. I was home alone and she had a blowout, which she never had blowouts. So I wasn't used to blowouts, but I was like getting her changed. There was literally baby poop everywhere. And as I was changing her, she just started peeing everywhere and the pee just went all the way up her back into her hair. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You were there by yourself?
I was here by, I remember I called you. I had you on the phone and I was like freaking out and you were at work and I was just freaking out. I was like, I don't know what to do. There's shit everywhere. I will say.
That's a pretty crazy story.
I would say one of the other crazy things is she's been known to poop in the tub. And I think that's fairly crazy.
Yeah.
That is not something I was really prepared for.
It's not really.
But like I feel like a lot of like things with like little babies involves poop. Like crazy things It's either poop or vomit.
Which I think that's what she was looking for, is poop stories.
Poop and vomit is like.
I just don't know that that's appropriate for YouTube Q&A.
Babies. It's babies. Babies poop, sleep, eat, and puke. At least in my case.
So hopefully you can piece something together from all that.
Oh, this is actually a good one, but you need to get your laptop. Your sister asked to share the totals on our bingo card for the year. That's a good one.
I don't need my laptop for that.
Oh, it's on your phone. I don't think really anyone followed our podcast. We haven't recorded in a few months, but one of the things we did at the beginning of the year was Scott challenged me to make a 2023 bingo card because he always made jokes that I was like, always like, oh, that wasn't a 2022 bingo card. So he actually made a bingo card this year. He did say that if I hit bingo, I was going to get a new laptop. Sadly, I didn't hit bingo. I was very close. So we can just say what I hit. A Frozen related release was announced. They did announce Frozen 3. Yeah. Someone will have a baby boy. His sister had a boy. He will learn how to go all the way down the steps by herself. That has happened. Scott's been looking forward to Christmas morning since last Christmas morning.
I said I think this Christmas morning she'll be able to go down by herself. I don't think she'll want to, but the fact is that she can.
Phoebe gets potty trained. My brother Seth will move out of my parents' house. He got a job in Pittsburgh, so he moved out. One of your college swim friends will announce a pregnancy. That happened. We don't need to name drop them, but that happened. One of your high school friends will get engaged, and that actually 2 of them did, right? You had 2 high school friends get engaged this year. Yes. An appliance will die, which is so ironic. Maybe more. Yes, our oven died in January, and that oven is dead again now, which is so ironic. And the last one I got was Phoebe will officially drop her nap, which, you know, it's so funny. When I went out with my college friends the other day, 3 of us all have 2-year-olds, and guess who's the only one with a 2-year-old who doesn't nap anymore?
Oh, really?
Because I said something, like I was talking about her regressions, and I said, like, I think a lot of it started when she stopped napping, and my one friend was like, oh, I feel so bad for you. And I was
Avi said the twins stopped napping. Or, I should say, and Ivy said the twins stopped napping.
That was our last question. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Or should I say, running with a little side of A.
Scott just talks about running the whole time.
If you have any more questions or follow-ups, let us know. We can certainly blab some more in another video since we have lots of vlogs coming this month.
This is like the first podcast in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to get to a different place to be podcasting again. We needed a break. It was getting a little too mundane. But yeah, that was it for this Vlogmas Q&A.
Thanks for stopping by my channel.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by my channel. See you in the next video.